Hello, and thank you for joining us for Moss Talks. We have more conversations and more culture. I'm Joel, co-founder, creative director for Moss Magazine.
And I'm Sydney, co-founder and editorial director for Moss Magazine.
So, Sydney, for this week, I want to kind of get us started off with talking about basketball. Even though the Super Bowl has happened already, I want to talk about something that recently happened with women's basketball that is very important and very, important for women's culture. So, if you don't know, there's this league called Unrivaled Women's Basketball League. That's a 3-on-3 where professionals and people that were former professionals play. So recently they had the big event in Philadelphia where they had a 3-on-3 event. And so for this event, the attendance for this event, do you want to guess what the attendance was for, I guess for like a benchmark, you can kind of guess these events kind of around 10,000, maybe 12.
Oh, I was thinking 200,000. Okay. You said 10,000 is the max?
No, it's not the max. 10,000 is kind of where it was.
I'm going to say 50,000.
Lower.
More?
It's less.
Oh, 40,000.
It was 21,450.
Oh, that's good.
So to put this into reference, Duke versus UNC just had their big game, their rivalry game. For that event, they had 21,750.
Wow.
So if you think of in the aspect of how big that was versus how big this one was it was pretty big because people were hyped for that UNC game. And so seeing the numbers for that, I think it was great for women's basketball because again, it's not part of the Women's National Basketball League, and it being its own thing.
It's independent.
Yeah, being 3-on-3. I mean, from my point of view, I didn't think 3-on-3 would be this engaging, but it actually is compared to regular 5-on-5.
Do they also show it on TV?
I think so. I usually watch it on YouTube. I don't know about TV.
Oh, because I was going to say, what were the TV numbers too? For it to be the same crowd as the UNC game in person, I wonder what it was like also, like with streaming and,
Yeah, I'm not sure.
viewership.
I might look into that, but I'm not sure. Also for this event. So usually in women's sports, you usually don't get this, but a woman dunked in this event.
Oh, they allowed that? I thought
No,
they
it's
weren't allowed to do
it's,
that.
no, it's not allowed. It's just they don't it's deemed as something that women is impossible for a woman. I say,
Which is stupid.
yeah, but it just never happens because like again, I would say I see the point as a woman you would never put yourself in that predicament to where you get hurt because as a man I've dunked a few times. I'm short, but I've dunked a few times, and it hurts the hands. Like you really have to get used to slamming the ball into the hoop into an iron hoop. How you dunk really changes it, but dunking hurts in some aspect.
So who dunked?
Her name is Dominique Malonga. I hope I'm saying that right. But her name is Dominique. She's 6'6". And so
Does she play in the league?
she does play. She plays in Unrivaled. I don't know if she plays in.
No, I meant also the women's league.
She plays in Unrivaled. That's women's league. I don't know.
Just it. That's
I don't know if she plays in women's basketball.
Okay.
But I know she plays in Unrivaled. But anyway, she's 6'6". So to put it into perspective too, there are a lot, and I mean a lot, of 6-foot guards in the NBA that cannot dunk or just don't. They probably can dunk, but they do not dunk in game. Steph Curry being one of them. Steph Curry is a very prominent 3-point shooter. He does not dunk. I would say when you go play the 2K, when you play his character, he does not have a good dunk range just because he does not dunk in game.
Well, I also feel like dunking is so performative too. Like
It is, but
I
it's
feel like the people who dunk are like the entertainers of the team or of the league or whatever.
I would say yes, but I would say it's a pivotal part of the game because think about it like this: when your guy goes into the lane and he dunks the ball, your team feels more amped up because it's like it feels very it's a great adrenaline rush. It's more amped up. It's like, yeah, like we got the ball, we got these 2 points. Like this is our chance. This is our moment because we're stronger, we're bigger, yada yada. However you feel, but how I say it'd be a lot different if your guy went for a layup, and then you're like knowing that person can dunk, it would feel a lot different because you could have dunked that. Like we could have had a moment. So dunking is it's more of like a mental edge. Let's say that.
Yeah,
It's performed. It's performative when it's not necessary. Like when someone does a dunk when they're up by 30, it's like cool, like yeah, we got it. Like we know, but like still, it's I would say from my point of view, it's a part of the game. Yeah, it's a power move.
Okay, like football.
Yeah. But last couple points on this. So this is kind of outside of Unrivaled, but still about women's basketball. So Angel Reese has her own Reebok shoe. And so she recently just did a shoot with Reebok and Women's National Basketball League. I think that's like so important. Women's basketball, like having an athlete like Angel Reese that has a shoe with Reebok, do like a photo shoot, do like, I don't know exactly what the event was, but I know that it mostly was a photo shoot. Like have her showcase herself as the face of the league is very important because a lot of men watch Angel Reese, a lot of women watch Angel Reese, a lot of little girls, little boys are looking up to this athlete, and having someone from the Women's National Basketball League present themselves as a public figure is so important to the masses so that you can get those numbers in, to get those faces, get them to understand that it's just not men playing this game. It's not just men dunking anymore.
So I want to cover daytime talk shows. They're disappearing. And so that also means women voices are disappearing from TV, from daytime. Last week, it was announced that the Sherry Shepherd show was ending after 4 seasons, and she filled in the 10 o'clock hour that Wendy Williams had left behind when she had to step away. And then the same day that was announced, Kelly Clarkson's show was announced as being canceled. So I just bring that up to say, like, it just sucks that we're only now left with, like, Tamron Hall, because she comes on in the evenings, and then The View. I feel like that's not going anywhere. Everyone loves The View. But there's, like, power in having these talk shows because, like, I grew up watching them. Like, I was, like, in year round. So there's 3 weeks. Every couple of quarters, I was just glued to the TV because I had no school.
I'm going to cut you off real quick. I think you're going to get to this point. But why were they suspended? Why were they taken off the TV?
I mean, I guess because no one's watching TV anymore, which sucks. But I kind of feel like it's true, but it's not true. I feel like a lot of people, especially like if you're home, you work from home, you're kind of, in your house for most of the day, you're going to have your TV on in the background. So I feel like a lot of people, maybe have it on in the background. So they're not really watching it and connecting with the talk show host or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I know for me personally, I was never interested in the Sherry Shepherd show, but that's like because I love Wendy Williams. Like I adored her. And then like I was in school, so like I wasn't able to watch TV at 10 anymore.
Yeah.
But I really just think it's because people aren't tuning into actual TV; they're streaming.
I think, yeah, and to that point, TV right now is nothing without social media. Like the J Hut show would never popped off or continued to go probably if it wasn't for that tunnel.
Yeah, and that's also probably why, because everyone is now like, is the J Hud show going to get canceled too? And that's probably why it's not being canceled just yet, because they have success via social media with their tunnel.
Like how I say, to put it in terms of people who may not have TikTok, or in terms of people who may watch TV and not care about the social media things, think of it like Ellen. Ellen was nothing without the gimmicks.
And YouTube.
It was nothing without the gimmicks on YouTube. Same with the Jimmy Fallon show. The Jimmy Fallon show was nothing without the roots and the stuff that celebrities brought with them onto the show.
The little games and stuff.
Yeah, or the performance. That's why I think, like, unrelated, but I think the reason I think shows like the Jimmy Fallon show are around for so long, despite what people have said about Jimmy Fallon in the background, is because they have comedy, they have live performances, they have the roots, they have interactive stuff that causes the gimmicks. Then they have celebrities talking about stuff that, where I say they don't have long celebrity segments, from my opinion.
But Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, they're all white men. That's why they're still on TV
Jimmy
for
Kimmel
so long.
isn't.
Well, white presenting men.
Yeah.
Men.
Yeah.
At that.
I think.
And all of these shows are women led, and they're gone.
Is the Stephen Colbert show still around? Was that canceled? Stephen Colbert? That was more political.
Sure. I'm not sure.
I think he just canceled.
Or did he get moved to HBO?
I think he got canceled.
No, but yeah, like, it's like the women who are disappearing. Like, because then you think back to, like, Queen Latifah. She had a show. Phenomenal. Yeah. Oprah. Obviously, everyone knows Oprah. The Real was one of my favorite shows ever. That was, like, a panel of women. And then even, like, Tyra Banks, like, and her gimmicks were interesting. And, like, they would come on every single day, and now they're all just gone.
Yeah. I think also these shows, do you know why they're canceled?
I mean, at the end of the day, it's probably just because they're women. So the pressures are higher. They have to,
Well,
perform and beat out.
I'm just asking because like it could be something that they canceled.
What do you mean?
Like the woman could have canceled it.
No. Mm-mm. I think in these situations, aside from Oprah, it was probably the network that had to cancel everything.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'm just saying, it's just hard, like you fall in love with this woman and you tune in to see her thoughts and her
It's
opinions.
hard seeing them go.
Yeah, especially because, like, it's not like the internet. Like, everyone is tuning in at the same day, every single day to, like, hear this person's thoughts or their views or whatever. And to know that people all around you are also tuning in at the same time. Like, that was, like, the fun of it, too.
Yeah.
And then, like, when you get on digital platforms, it's just hard to build that legit audience because you're on the internet. There's so many corners of the internet. You have to fight streamers, you have to fight podcasters. Like, it's hard to create that space and that audience.
I was like, despite them being women-led shows, black women-led shows, maybe they're getting more black women. Maybe they're making space for something new.
I don't know. I would love to see Wendy Williams again on my screen, honestly, but I doubt it. I don't think they've announced what they're going to fill in those hours with, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I think I did see somewhere though that for the Sherry Shepherd show, I think a local station is running the show. So maybe that will be a thing, having more local daytime talk shows instead. But I don't know about nationally. So this week we are speaking with Sam SMH. He's a young musician from Philly. He's currently studying audio and live entertainment at Temple. And we had a great conversation with him about his journey as a musician, what he's up to now, and where he pulls inspirations from.
Good afternoon, and thank you for tuning into Moss Talks. Today, we have the pleasure of speaking with Samuel Smith, Sam SMH, a young musician and producer. We'll chat about how he builds his sound, his production work, and what it means to stay consistent. Thank you, Samuel, for joining us today.
Thank you guys for having me.
So I want to kind of dive straight in. How did you first get into music and production?
Well, for one, I definitely I could definitely date it back to being born in a musical family. So I grew up being active in the musician side of church. I grew up doing different shows, plays, and whatnot. But what really made me hone in on my own musical craft was in seventh grade, I used GarageBand a bunch on my iPad, and from that point on, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I learned how to use different digital audio workstations, starting from GarageBand, and eventually in eighth grade through 12th, I moved into Logic Pro. High school, I participated in my high school's album projects. From there, I learned how to work on more technical things in community college. And right now, I currently go to Temple for audio and live entertainment. And let's just say it's taken me a long way.
That's good. I do have a question. Could you just say you kind of raised in church and kind of the musician side of that? Did you play any musician? Sorry. Did you play any instruments in church?
Growing up specifically, I didn't. I sang in all of the church choirs, praise teams, and whatnot. But I think starting in 2018, I learned how to play drums, and I also at the same time learned how to play piano.
It's solid, solid. I was like, yeah, I was on the same side of that, drums and piano, because I ain't got time to be plucking strings. I'm sorry, I love y'all.
Those two felt like the easiest things to pick up. Plus, I love how both of those sound very much, especially the piano, definitely.
I was just saying that, yeah, they both control the rhythm. So yeah, I want to control the rhythm. So yeah.
When you sit down to build a track, what part of the process feels natural to you?
Honestly, all of it feels natural to me, but more specifically, usually when I'm figuring out my melody or chords, that's one of the things that I spend the most time on. Part of that applies to me, whenever I'm using a sample. I take the most time to like dissect exactly how I want it to sound. I'm very particular about my sound choice. I usually spend the most time figuring out my chords, figuring out where I want a specific part of my samples to be placed. Um, I've spent so much time doing that it used to take me like hours at a time. Most now it takes up to like 30 minutes to an hour for me.
Oh, wow. I want to ask then, do you find yourself gravitating towards like one specific sound or genre, like when like building your own sound or like when you're sourcing music?
A lot of the finished tracks that I end up with usually range within the hip hop and electronic genre, but sometimes I'll go on a completely different scales, switch it up. I like uh I like doing house sometimes. Sometimes I'll leave a I'll leave a sample as is. I'll take the drums out and put a bunch of different synth sounds and like any like strings I can find, stuff like that. Uh yeah, things of that nature pretty much.
Yeah. Mhm.
But moving on, we saw that you even made some tracks on the 3DS. What drew you to experiment with something like that?
Um honestly, it it stemmed from growing up with those sounds a lot. Um all I had was Nintendo growing up, so I definitely gravitated towards a lot of those sounds. And for the longest time, for the longest time with making music, I wanted to figure out how I could get those sounds on like my own systems. And so I also learned how to do that while developing my skill in music. And so part of my sound incorporates those like old chiptune DS like sounds because it's something that I hold dear to my heart, you know. Like I grew up playing those games all the time, and so I like to honor that by incorporating those sounds into my music.
If there ever was opportunity, would you do it on Xbox, PS5, or anything else like that? Like any other systems like PS2, PS3?
Um, I definitely thought about doing like the PS2 sound. I've always liked that one startup sound that they have,
Go ahead.
and yeah, you already know. And that particular sound, it's some other things that stick out to me. The PS4 sound effects. I um I like how those things sound, and at some point, I'm thinking about going into those games as well. There's this one game in particular called Parappa the Rapper that uh, incorporated a lot of hip hop into its soundtrack, and that's one thing I'd want to do a track that a track that's inspired off of that game in particular.
I see it. That'd be interesting. I can't wait to hear it.
You create and you share your work often, which is really important. So, can you kind of touch on that importance of staying consistent and what that means for you?
What helps me be consistent is literally like enjoying the process the entire way through. You know, a lot of people that I talk to that are also like musicians, like friends of mine, they don't post that often, and it's I usually find it's because like they haven't found a way that they can make posting consistently their own. Growing up, I wanted to be a big YouTuber and things like that, and so I learned from the people that I watched how they made posting to YouTube, how they made their niches, their formulas and things like that. And so I kind of approach it that way. I I find I spent a lot of time creating an aesthetic for myself, and I'm particular to that aesthetic when it comes to editing my videos, creating my visuals, and things like that. I like to honor my full creative vision in everything that I put out, and it's fun to create all of those types of things, and that's what helps me like stay consistent in that. It's because it's like my full like creative output. I look to things for inspiration, but I always find some way to make it my own.
And I think that's kind of like the beauty of being a creative when you are, because like you can have that full control over your image and over your branding. because like, you can control what you post, you can control, your Instagram feed, your YouTube. And I think that's something we'll probably like start to see like with the next generation of creatives. Like you guys really know what it means to like push yourselves and like put out content and, really like shape your voice in the field. So I love that you're already seeing that and you're already working on that in the stage that you are now, because like that will really like set you apart from other people.
Definitely. I find like um portraying my own like voice, portraying my own self to be like very important, especially now in like where you have like AI becoming popular and things like that. It's just very crucial to me that like I'm displaying my own work and like being my best self in front of everybody.
What skills or ideas are you working on right now as you develop your sound further?
I'm currently trying to juggle two different musical projects at the same time. One is a little more centered around like personal things. They're songs I've recorded throughout the year that describe very personal moments, and the other's just like really electronic, really like a dance centered album, you know. And so I'm creating two different projects at the same time, and right now I'm trying to hone in on working on the tracks right now. I usually work on tracks first and then visuals later. But yeah, those are the two things that I'm working on. Two very different projects, but I'm excited for both of them.
I love the like duality of it. Do you plan to like share them out in the world at the same time too? Or kind of like stagger those releases?
I'm most likely going to stagger those releases because I'm more like closer to finishing one than the other. Like the this dance album is definitely like in its concept stage right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, cool. Well, we're excited to hear and keep watching, and see, how it goes, and can't wait to listen.
Yes, thank you.
All right, moving on to our quick fire. Basically, I'm going to ask you a question. The first thing that pops to your mind, that's going to be your answer, okay?
Got it.
Any artist that you'd love to produce for?
Tyler, the Creator. Uh, yeah, he's the first one that popped in my mind. Like that man is my inspiration.
That's fair. That's fair. Your favorite spot in Philly?
My favorite spot in Philly. I've been like everywhere this year, but if there's one place that I like going to this year's in particular, it's it's a night bar called Margolis. They host a lot of different events there, and there's this one specific one called House of Play where they have the whole area decked out in like different games I can play. I come there with my friend often and we play Mario Kart.
What is your favorite DS game?
My favorite DS game has to be Sonic Rush. I think, as you can see, I definitely enjoy Sonic the Hedgehog. And Sonic Rush had really good visuals, really good music for its time, and I really appreciate that game for what it is.
Yeah, I played Sonic a lot growing up, so yeah, love Sonic. What are you listening to this week?
This week in particular, I've been listening to Sunshine by Steve Lacy. I've had that on repeat, and also The Girl Is Mine by Michael Jackson.
Yeah, got to prep for that movie next year.
Yes, yes.
But describe yourself in 3 words.
In 3 words, let's see. Creative, um, visionary, and shoot, I'm a nerd.
I think this is my favorite third word because honestly, most people come up, you get the first 2 words, they're waiting there for a second, they're like, hmm. But yeah, I appreciate the answer. So going back over these a little bit, what about Sonic Rush stood most out to you? Was it just the visuals, or was it more like the music, or just the feeling of the game?
It was the music and feel of the game, honestly. The artist behind that music, what's his name? Hideki Naganuma. He um he took a lot of like he took a lot of samples and created something like very individual, something that I feel added to Sonic's like repertoire of amazing music, and his style gave a unique take on Sonic music for its time, and I feel like what he provided to that game, like it also like shapes the future games that came after it as well. As far as the feel of the game goes, it's the 2D classic Sonic game. It's a more modern take on the classic games, and it introduced a formula that most future Sonic games use. I definitely enjoy playing through that game a lot.
Honestly, I might check it out 'cause I do like Sonic again. But my last question to you, so you said your favorite spot in Philly, and I might butcher this, was Margolis.
Yes.
How you spell that?
Margolis.
Ooh, we on the money. Yeah. we about to butcher this spelling. But yeah, so do they, when you said they had like arcade games, did they have like the booth style arcade games, or did they have like a console playing the arcade game?
They have a console specifically playing the arcade games. While it's decked out in games, it's also accompanied with a DJ that's playing music through the night. Sometimes they'll have special games that participants can be active in as well. It's a very fun night.
I said, do they have tournaments?
Hmm?
Do they have tournaments, like game tournaments?
They don't have any game tournaments over there. Nah, not that I know of. They probably could host one.
They let me down. But still, I might check them out though. I'm in Philly. Thank you again so much, SAMSMH, Samuel Smith. Y'all know the name. I'm gonna say it twice again for y'all after we recap. But yeah, go check out his music. He's doing great. Young producer, young musician. Y'all heard he grew up doing music. So what you gonna do? Listen to the music. Amen. All right.
Oh yeah, amen. I appreciate that. Thank y'all. Thank y'all so much.